where he used to be always and do meditation. That also they will show you. During the Mughal regime, when there was a problem, then the deity, Lord Krishna's deity there, was moved to Rajasthan for safety reasons. And since then on, he used to be there in a temple which you call today as the Lord who was worshipped by Natha Swamy. So his name became Srichinnajeeyar. He is nowadays receiving the glorious aradhanas in that place of Rajasthan. Okay. Deity form is very, very powerful. Lord appears in that form. And whichever material you create to him as a form, he just simply follows those rules. So that is what you need to understand. For Ganesha, you create some clay as his divine form. And you wanted him to be there for, say, some people worship for 3 days. You invite him into that form. That means you are inviting Prana Shakti into that. Prana Shakti. When the Prana Shakti is there, then it is an entity like you and I. But when you withdraw the Prana Shakti from that, what do you do? If the Prana Shakti from this body is withdrawn, you can't withdraw that. It is God withdraws. But when he withdraws the Prana Shakti from here, then what do you do with this? Do you keep home? What do? You dispose it off in whatever way it is needed. Some people do some sort of samskara, but that's okay. But you have to dispose it off. So when you invite Ganesha into a clay form, and when you withdraw the Prana Shakti from that, after that specific time, like 9 days, 3 days or 5 days, then you have to dispose of that, the material that is clay. So you have to merge that into a water base. That is what we do as nimajjanam. Imagine, because it is a clay, you have to drop into the water base. Understand? But if it is a metal, then what to do? Suppose you made the Ganesha with gold, right? Using a minimum of 5 to 6 kgs of gold, and you made a nice Ganesha, and you worshipped that. Say, invited the Prana Shakti and disposed of the Prana Shakti from that. Then what do? Do you take it for Nimajjana? 5 kgs of gold. Do you do Nimajjanam? No. For metal, samskaram is different. Because it is clay, you have to put it into the merge into the waters. But if it is made of a stone or a metal, after that Prana Shakti is withdrawn, one abhishekam to that purifies that metal. You can reuse it. But with clay, once the Prana Shakti is withdrawn, you cannot reuse it. It is also, for years together, which is not recommended by the scriptures. You have to dispose it off. But if it is made of a stone, then do one abhishekam to that. Then it becomes again fit for next use. Or if it is made of a metal, like brass, bronze, copper, silver, gold, or any kind of metal. Once you invited the Pranashakti and withdraw the Pranashakti, and if you offer Abhishekam, you can reuse that as his divine form. That's why in our temples, when the procession deity is taken on a procession, after returning, they offer one Abhishekam. And then Aradhana can be offered on a normal process. Understand? So, God accepts that as his form and follows the law of that specific material, whichever form he accepted. There, now you are seeing here, first of all, our acharyas here, they invited him and then requested him, "Hey Lord, we want to offer Abhishekam to you. Please allow us to offer this service," and accept it. And then Lord accepts. And then they start. How do we offer Abhishekam to a little baby? Bathing the babies. How do you do? First of all, after waking up, then you do the Danta Dhavana. Danta Dhavanam is brushing the teeth, right? And then cleaning the tongue, Jihva Nirlekhanam, they call it. Then that is also offered to the deities here. Because he accepts all the services as you offer to a little baby. Archakas treat him as a little baby. They offer those services so that he won't be suffocated. Right? And then they offer oil. In olden days, I think mothers used to do all these kind of services. I think probably you don't know because you are in London. But when we are young, small, then we used to watch, we used to see. For small little babies, mothers first of all, they give the castor oil, avada, and honey. They heat up a little, mix up honey with that, and then they make the babies drink it. What they call it? Uggu pettuta. Uggu pettaro yamma. Annamacharya sang the beautiful song while offering the Abhishekam to the Lord. Uggu pettuta. In Telugu they call it as Uggu pettuta. And then after that, mother makes the baby to do all sorts of physical exercises, moving the hands, moving the legs, moving in front and forth, all these kind of small exercises to the baby. Mother offers. Then she applies oil to the baby. And then they take some kind of powder, what they call as the bathing powder, sunnupindi. And then they apply that after just, soaking it. And then for a few moments, it will be dried. A little bit dried, then they rub the body so that it will be again totally removed. After that, they take the amalakatoyum. What is the amalakam? Is a amla, gooseberries. Yeah, they take that mixed up with the water and then they apply to the body because the skin becomes active with that. So they apply that. Then they take a turmeric powder and then they apply the turmeric powder all through the body. We can see all those are things they are performing now. And then they take chandana water. Chandana means sandal powder. Mix up with the water and they offer the abhishekam with that to the babies. We used to observe when mother offers the bath to the babies, they used to use 21 pots full of the water with some kind of lukewarm, not so hot, not so cold. They test the water first of all before offering. Govinda! If you go to temples, the traditional temples like Srirangam, you can observe that. The archakas, before offering the water, they first put their finger into the water, they check what is the temperature of the water. It should not be so hot and so cold, lukewarm. Such water, they start offering like 21 parts they keep. And some water, they keep the hand like this to the baby and then offer. Sometimes they raise the head like this, and then they offer here. And some water on the back, some water on the stomach. Did you ever observe? Do you offer like that to the babies? Here it is prohibited. Whatever the process to spoil the health, that are to be observed here. So, all the 21 parts of water, pot means not small pot, it's a kudam, big kudam, So, thus they offer the water, and finishing that they pack the baby to dry slowly, and then take the sambrani, the incense powder. What do you call it? Sambrani? Sambrani only. That's okay. And then they put it on the fire, and with the smoke of the sambrani, then they take the baby and warm the baby up. And then they take the cloth and make it smooth, and then they clean the ears and clean the nose and akul. They used to call it as akul. They make it in a process. There is a process to make it. And then they apply the what you call liners, eyeliner. That's also, there is a process to make it. With the castor oil in a copper plate, they get the smoke and then they prepare it, adding the pure ghee with that powder, and then they make it, and it creates a kind of beauty to the eyes, adds beauty to the eyes, not the chemical stuff, which is made from the natural sources. All these services are done to the babies. Then mother decorates the baby and then keeps in the cradle and then feeds a little food and then swings gently the cradle and then puts the baby into sleep. All the services we see with the babies, mothers doing. Archakas feel themselves as mothers, and they treat the Lord as a baby, and then they offer the services to the Lord, who accepts all the services being the deity. He accepted the deity form for that purpose, and he doesn't move only to receive the services like that. We know if he starts moving, he is not available to anybody. He keeps on running here and there. Already he's a naughty guy, and then eats butter a lot, and then applies the butter on the skin, and even you won't be able to catch hold of him, because even if you catch, that's the reason he accepts to be in the deity form, so that you can offer the services with all love and affection. The offering process of these kind of services with the love is the worthy services to Lord Krishna, that to the Srinathji, and it seems thus he was there for hundreds of years. And today is that Nathamani Swami's birthday. Observe the Abhishekam, enjoy the Abhishekam, and remember that Lord is there even in your heart. Right? The same Srinathji, or here in the form of Lord Rama, is there in your heart. And you have love also towards him. You have dedication, right? The dedication is the water, and your heart is the kalasa. Make your heart as kalasa, and then keep offering that dedication, that concerned love, what we call as Shraddha, to him as Abhishekam here. And in the process of offering, of course, they offer milk, yogurt, honey, fruit juice, ghee, and different types of oshadhis also mixed with the water, and thus they offer it. Each one is a symbolic one, remember. Milk is a symbol of knowledge. How? Because milk comes from the cows. Cows are symbols of Vedas, isn't it? Go means verse, vak. And Upanishads, the essence of Vedas, are considered as cows. Sarvopanishado gavaha. All the Upanishads are considered as cows. And whatever they give are the divine qualities of God. And those divine qualities, or the knowledge about those divine qualities, is considered as milk. And when milk is cultured, turns to yogurt, right? That becomes yogurt, whatever you call it, yogurt or curd, whatever you call it, that is how, when it is turns to devotion, and that devotion is fixed in you in the form of faith. That is called yogurt. Yogurt symbolizes that. And when the yogurt is churned, thus comes butter. And when the butter is heated up, that turns to ghee. Yes? And when your faith thinks more and more about that Lord as the process of churning by services, then comes out of that the butter, which even with a little amount of heat turns to ghee. And that is what we call the sneha. Sneham is devotion. Govinda! Go Sitaramachandra Maharaj ki! Which melts the butter, that forms the ghee, which is called Vairagya. So, Jnana, Bhakti, Vairagya, that is the ghee you offer. And then, what is the honey? Honey is the result of the flowers. Flowers are your qualities. You cultivate good qualities like ahimsa, satyam, arjavam, being truthful and being straightforward, being compassionate for the fellow beings. All these are good qualities which we want to inculcate in are called honey. These are the flowers. The result of the flowers is the honey. And honey symbolizes that our preeti, which is like taila dharavadi, avichinna smrti santana preeti rupa, what you call is bhakti, which is just never breaks in between, not able to bear with not able to be able to break even for a fraction of a second. That's how the flow goes, isn't it? And when such a kind of love comes in the heart, whatever you do becomes his service. Wherever you do becomes his service. Whatever you are doing, you dedicate every service to him. That is called offering the result to the Lord. Phala. Karma phala tyaga. Sarva karma phala tyaga. That is what Lord asks us to do. Sarva karma phala tyaga tatah kuru. Then you have to dedicate everything. You will be dedicating, of course, normally everything. They said, he was in Kuruvur. Go to Kuruvur, which is called Tirunagari. Go to Tirunagari and just try to find out. Nathamuni Swamy then immediately went to Kuruvur, Tirunagari, and then inquired about songs and inquired about Sadahopa Swami. They said, approximately 350 years before, or 3,500 and plus years before, there was a Sadahopa Swami, of course, who is there in the temple. Seems he sung 1,000 songs. Oh, what happened to the songs? They almost disappeared. Why? Because whoever was singing those songs, they used to die immediately. They used to die immediately. You know why? In families, now of course these are families, right? We are human beings with emotions and commotions. So what happens sometimes, if both are talking with a different kind of feel, then one may get upset. When one person gets upset, the other person feels like, no, I don't want to live at all. Sometimes the anger, the emotion goes to that level. After all, it is temporary. And if you wait for a few moments, or if you keep away, it comes, all the emotions go down, and again they become normal. But till then you have to wait, right? You should not take hasty decisions at that hot moment. But people won't think like that. They want to do something at once. So instead of making some kind of other attempt, if the Nammalwar's 1,000 songs are sung, they used to give away the body immediately and used to go to moksha. Govinda! Govinda. In a home, daughter-in-law and mother-in-law, sometimes if they are having so much love with each other, with the very first, the temporary emotions should not spoil the system of the society. Probably some people thought when the emotions are high, they are chanting this Nammal verse 1,000 songs, and then immediately Maranama Akki Vaivundam Kodukkum. It gives them the death, and then they go to probably moksha. People doing that, adopting that, and the families were getting disturbed. So probably people of those days thought, let's not keep this Divya Prabandham at all in the world. Then they discarded that. But those who learnt a few songs related to different temples, they used to chant them in those temples, limited to those temples. That was the case. Those songs sung by Nammalvar 3,000 years before disappeared almost. Only a few songs were remaining here and there in the temples. My God. But we need to find the proper reason for this. But how can we get them? We don't know. But let us consult some old people, some senior citizens of that time. When Nadhamuni Swami met with them, suggested, when Nadhamuni Swami was speaking, one of his disciples called Madhura Kavi Alvar, Madhura Kavi, a very, very great Vedic scholar, used to record all those songs. And out of devotion towards Nammalvar, he sung 11 songs by name Kanninun Siruththambu. What is that? Kanninun Siruththambu. It's a Tamil word. He sung 10 songs with that name. It is said, if those Kanninun Siruththambu songs are sung for 12,000 times, 10 as a unit, thus we have to chant them for 12,000 times, it seems Nammalvar appears for them and blesses them. That is what we heard from our elders. The old people suggested. As I said to you earlier, Nadhamuni Swami was a great yogi. He was a yogi, he was a devotee also. And because of Govinda, because of his yogic power and also devotion, he went to the temple which is there in the Kuruhurt, in the Tirunagari, and sat before that Nammalvar at the tamarind tree where he used to stay, and then meditated that Kanninun Siruththambu, which we wanted to chant today in front of the Lord Ramachandra here. He meditated on them for 12,000 times. Surprisingly, Nammalvar appeared before him and asked him, what do you want? Nadhamuni Swami said, Lord, I want the great songs 1,000 what you have sung earlier. Okay? But I can't give you like this. Now I am in a deity form in the temple. And even a deity should not speak as per the agamic recommendations. So, have the Nammalvar's deity and keep a curtain in front of that. You be on the other side of the curtain and I will be speaking from behind the curtain. Then you take a note of all those songs and then you can get everything. He blessed Nathamuni like that. Nathamuni felt so happy. and probably he might have taken a recorder. We don't know. But his mind itself was a great recorder because he was a great yogi, as I said. Right? Or probably he might have taken a pen and paper, we don't know. But Nathamuni Swami was recording all that was spoken. Nammalwar was speaking from behind the curtain, being there in a deity form, Archamurti. He spoke all the 1102 songs for him. He recorded. After recording, what should you say? If somebody said a lesson to you and you noted down all of them, what do you do after that? You have to say thanks. But Nathamuni Swami didn't say thanks. I was just still holding the pen, paper and sitting like that. Hey, what do you want? Are you not happy? I spoke all songs. Of course, Swami, but it seems you sung 3 more different songs. Oh, you want them also? If you so bless, fine. I'm really, blessed. No down. Then Nammalwar started speaking those songs also. Nathamuni Swami took notes of 4 prabandhas, all the 4 prabandhas of Nammalwar. In spite of that, he did say thanks. Hey Nathamuni, looks like you are still not happy. If he say that I am not happy, then in spite of anything you won't feel happy. Oh, so go. If he says I am happy, thanks, then he will not speak anything. So he was just simply showing his curious face and as if he is ready to note down and waiting. Then Nathamuni Swami, seeing his face and stuff, Nammalwar said, do you need something else from me? Of course. What do you want? It seems you are the divine form of all the Alvars. There are 11 more Alvars along with you. Nammalwar is one among the Alvars. There are 12 Alvars. Right? How many Alvars? 12 Alvars. 10 prime Alvars, 2 supporting Alvars, we can say. But altogether, they are 12. With Periyalvar, Goda Devi becomes a part. With Nammalwar, Madhurakavi becomes a part. But altogether, they are 12. So you are the form of all the Alvars. And of course you gave 4 prabandhas and I noted them down. I am so happy with it. But I want to know the songs, divine songs of rest of the Alvar. He asked. Okay. Then start noting down. And then he started singing the songs of other Alvars, like Periyalvar, Kulasekar Alvar, Tiruppan Alvar, Tondaradipudi Alvar. So many other Alvars also sung songs in Tamil language about the glories of God as described in Vedas, but better than Vedas. Because in Vedas, there are so many things who are conglomerated, filtering all of them, getting the essence of divine qualities of the Lord and his activities and his divine forms, etc., Alvars sung those Tamil songs called 4,000 divine songs, celestial songs. Govinda! Govinda! Those celestial songs are called Divya Prabandhas, divine scriptures, divine revelations, we call them. Divine revelations. They are 4,000 in number total. All those 4,000 found by Natha Muni. And because he was very great scholar, not only knowing the Manava music, but also he knows the Devatas music as well. What is called as Devaganam? Ours is Manavaganam. Among the humans, the tunes, there are some fearful tunes, lovely tunes, melodious tunes, etc., right? They are pretty fearful tunes, no? But some are very melodious also. They are a bit melodious, you know. So there are soft tones, hard tones, and harsh tones also. And wild tones as well. These are called Manavaganam. But there is divine Ganam also, which Nathamuni was very much acquainted with. Devaganam. All the songs of Alvars, which were revealed by Nammalvar to Nathamuni, were tuned to Devaganam. How can you say what is Devaganam? Well, Nathamuni said. How do you say that Nathamuni knows Devaganam? Huh? Did you ask him? Or did you listen to that? But there was a nice episode in his life, in the Nathamuni Swami's life, whose birthday we are celebrating today. There were two ladies. One mastered Manavaganam. One mastered Devaganam. They wanted to survive. To survive, they need some kind of government job. You know, in India, most of the people try for government job. That's where, you know, so many problems are, you know, creeping like reservations, non-reservations. It's only for that purpose, right? Mostly, majority. So, if the Raja Adharam, what you call that? Raja Adharana. If the kings support such kind of things, it will be always, you know, flourishing. So both girls went to the king of the day. And they said, "Sir, I know Devaganam and my sister knows Manavaganam. Please listen to these things and support us and provide some kind of, you know, support for our livelihood." And then the king said, "Come on, you sing." And you sing. Both sung. Devaganam, nobody was able to properly appreciate or understand. Because we are human beings. We know only human Ganams. How can we understand Devaganams? We can't. So he was not able to appreciate, so he did not want to support that lady who knows the Devaganam, but he wanted to support the one who knows the Manavaganam. The other sister was pretty much upset. And then they came out. At that moment, Nathamuni Swami was passing by, observed these ladies. One is pretty much worried and the other one is so happy. And he asked them, "What is the matter with you?" Then the lady who knows Devaganam said, "Sir, this is the fate. We met in the Rajya Sabha." Is it so? Come on. let me help to you. He took both of them to Raja again and said, Hey king, this is Devaganam, very divine and powerful. Then the king asked, how can I believe that what you say is right? Then Nadamani Swami said, look, I know Devaganam, and for that I'll tell you a proof. Prepare, bells, we use the bell in the temple, and there are few bells we use for talam while somebody is singing, right? There's also a small bell. Prepare 143 bells. How many? 143 types of bells, in which metal will be different, size will be different, and weight will be different. Like, while preparing, they add zinc, copper, or probably bronze, and then they prepare the bell. You understand? As we prepare the vessels. In some, add, 1:63:26% of the material in one. In the next bell, change something. The proportions may be changed. And then size also may be changed. When you change the proportions, sound will not be the same. Understand? Proportions are changed, sound will be changed. Weight is changed, sound will be changed. Size is changed, sound will. And I will see them all once as you are just ringing them. And then keep a curtain. I'll be sitting behind the curtain. And let somebody in the front side sit with all the bells and let them ring it. I'll tell which number of bell it is, what is the proportions of the material mixed in that, and what is the size of it. Is it possible to say? Is it possible? Those who know the Devaganam are able to do this kind of stuff. I know that. You can check. The king wanted really to check it, and he prepared the bells. And then the test started. Whenever the guy used to ring up a bell, Radhabani Swami used to say, this is 93 bell. Because you need not, ring them 1, 2, 3, 4. No. Randomly pick up something and ring it. I'll be able to say that. That's what he pledged. And then he used to bring, yes, this is 78 number of the bell. The size is this. The metals are like this. He spoke about all the 143 bells. Then the king was awestruck. And then he said, yes, sir, we surrender to you now. Now tell us what to do. Then he said, see, this lady mastered Devaganam. So she must be respected more than the one who knows the Manavaganam. That is the capacity of Nadamani Swami's, his brilliance. And his wisdom was like that. After getting all the 4,000 songs from Nammalwar, he introduced them to be sung in all the Lord Sriman Narayana's temples, starting from Srirangam. Because Srirangam was the hub of all the temples. So from there he started introducing the singing of these songs during the Lord's Brahmotsavam in front of the Lord and in the presence of all the alvars. Even today, the practice goes well. And the people who belong to Nadhamuni's family, called arayars are singing those songs even today. They will be having a big cap on their head and hold the bells in their hand, and then they sing those songs starting from Pallandi. They're singing and then they explaining the songs, they dance with those songs, whatever the incidents that are described in those songs, at different occasions, they stop the singing and they exhibit that in the dance form to the Lord. That is called Arayar Sevai. They are called Arayars, those who are following that tradition. Even today, they are there. They never sing those songs anywhere else except before the Lord. Except before the Lord of their temple. They never sing those songs anywhere else. They dedicated to singing there. Nathamani Swamy established that the bhakti movement and blessed the world with that great knowledge. Of course, after that, it was taken by different people, even started adopting that in their own temples, like in Shiva temples, in Shakti temples, in Murugan temples, in Ganesh temples, etc. But the founder, Nathamani Swamy, for bhakti movement in general. And today is his birthday. For him to get that grace of Alvars, these songs sung by Madhura Kavi Alvar called Kanninun Siruththambu helped. That became a means for him to get the grace. Today, being Nathamani Swamy's birthday, we also thought if we all sing those songs, though we may not be knowing the meaning, knowing meaning, some people say, is very necessary. And there are sayings also, without knowing the meaning, chanting becomes waste. Ardhamu teliyanide, vyardhamu. When we do not know the meanings of the songs, and chanting itself goes waste. Not necessary, they say, which is wrong. Remember, to hear it looks good, but it is absolutely a wrong logic. You know why? You started speaking words when you are little baby. Do you know all the meanings of the words you are speaking? When you are very little, like 6 months or 8 months, you started saying tata, atta, tapa, tata. Do you know what they are? Mom, tell me the meaning, then I speak that. Did you ever ask your mom like that? We didn't. Even now, for many words you use, you may not be knowing the meaning, but you are using them. Aren't you? People make you fools by illogical usages like, అర్థం తెలియకుండా చదవడం వ్యర్థమండి అంటే, అబ్బా నిజంగా బోలు అబ్బా ఎంత బాగా చెప్తున్నాడు. ఏం తెలియకుండా చేస్తే ఈజ్ ఇట్ వ్యర్థం? మీరు 6 ఏళ్లకు అన్నప్రాసం చేస్తారా పిల్లలకి? 6 ఏళ్ళకి కాదు, 6 నెలలకి. when do you do the annaprasana to the babies? Normally they used to do at 5 or 6. Nowadays they may be doing at 4 or 3. Okay, whenever you do. I don't mind with that. That's not my concern. When you started eating the food at first instance, did you ask your mom, what are the contents? What is the content of the proteins and fat and the calcium and carbohydrates, etc., etc. Did you ask? At least are you asking now? Mom gives, you eat. Because mother knows better than you what is to be given and what not. Are you doing everything after knowing? Don't ask such a kind of foolish questions ever. But when it comes to God or good things, oh, we need to know everything. Then knowing, doing becomes waste. We should not say that. So also the chantings about God, maybe in any language they are, in whichever language they first born, that becomes the mantra. That becomes the mantra. And if you want the mantric effect to that, you have to chant in the same language, in the same passion. But if you change, it will lose its mantric power. Yes, you can enjoy the meaning, no problem. There is no objection absolutely whatsoever. But it is to understand the meaning and enjoy, but not to get the power of it. To get the power of it, you need to chant as it appeared first. If it appeared in English first, chant it in English only, that becomes mantra. If it appeared in Hindi, it becomes mantra, then chant it like that. If it appeared in Tamil, chant it like that, that becomes mantra. Whether you know the meaning or not, it is so much immaterial. Or if it appeared in Telugu, chant it in Telugu only. You know Vemana Satakam? You know Sumati Satakam? How many of you heard about it? Yes, open it. Govinda! Ramam Nisachara Vinasakaram Namami. Go. Now they have applied the sandal, now the turmeric paste. And thus they pray to the Lord, and then they offer the rest of the kalasas. The main kalasam to him will be offered. Pradhana kalasam they call it. Atyarichyata Govinda Go Deva Yajnamatanvata Vasanto Asyasida Grishma Idhma Sharadhavihi Saptasyasan paridhayaha Trisapta samidah krutaha Devayadhyajnantan vanaha Abadhnan purusham pasham Tan yajnam barhishi prokshan Purushan jatam